From saints to songs to pouring the perfect pint, welcome to Dublin.
Ah yes, Dublin is known for St. Patrick, Trinity College, and lots of authentic Irish pubs. But why? Here's what I'm curious about with Dublin's iconic pubs. Where do we get the name pub? Why does a historically male drinking establishment have such pretty flowers adorning it? How did traditional Irish music get intertwined with pub history? What is the Brian Boru harp? And what does it have to do with dark beer? How did a man named Arthur create a Dublin icon? What was a Brehon law and a spirit grocery and a snug? What is the science and the art to pouring the perfect pint? And most importantly, why does a pub feel like a friend's home? Who, what, where, why, when, and how? Pull up a stool and grab a pint. It's time to get curious about Dublin's pub history. We begin our curious journey at one of the oldest pubs in Dublin. The Brazen Head dates back to 1198, from medieval times through modern, when James Joyce and Jonathan Swift were known to throw back a pint or two here. Another famous Dublin bar is Temple Bar, which isn't really a pub.
This is the famous Temple Bar that is neither a temple nor a bar. It refers to the entire area here that in 1599 was named after Sir William Temple. The bar park comes from a sandbar that was built right around here to protect from flooding from the nearby River Liffey. Now, to be fair, today there are a lot of bars within the Temple Bar area, but here in Dublin they call them pubs, so let's not get confused.
And those pubs or bars are covered with pretty flowers. Why something so delicate where manly men throw back a pint? Well, this tradition dates back to ancient Roman times when the alewoman would place a bunch of vine leaves high up on a pole to let travelers from afar know that the ale was ready.
Next, where do we get the terms pub or tavern?
We get the name tavern from the Latin taberna, meaning hut or dwelling. Then the word branched off into two very different meanings. Tavern, where one commits one's sins, and tabernacle, where one begs forgiveness for said sins. So, as I said, the pub and the church are forever intertwined. But where do we get the name pub? Well, quite simply from public house. Ever notice how a pub looks like a home? Well, that is because pubs came out of private homes. The owners would open their first floors or parlor rooms as a bar. Sometimes they'd also rent out a room upstairs to weary travelers, which is why you might see the word inn in the names of pubs today. Next, during the Middle Ages, lest ye think a pub is only a place for sinners, many pubs were used by travelers on a religious pilgrimage. But no matter the purpose of their visit, all pub guests would share stories about their adventures, which created our next pub tradition, storytelling. And for that history, we go to the Little Museum of Dublin, where there is an entire exhibit dedicated to the history of the Irish pub.